Welcome to this module called Team, Systems and Leverage, and I want to start by defining why do you need leverage, what it actually is, and why it matters. And everything that we're going to cover in today's module is especially important for those of you who want to scale in a sustainable way, which I assume is most people, and if you want to work on your business and not always be stuck working in your business. Now, obviously, as a creatorpreneur, you will have to show up and do the work, right? This is not some boring in-person business that you can just outsource. A lot of it is driven by your personality, by your personal brand, so you will be involved. But being involved in your zone of genius, loving the work, making it scalable, doing what you are the best at and getting rid of everything else is different from being stuck in small things, being busy but not being productive, having a lot of work and activity but not making much progress. These are different. And that's what we want to build is, yes, you'll still work, but you will work on higher leverage things and you can scale further, you can love your work more, and you can just do the things that you are the best at. That's why this module is made for. And everything we're going to cover, including teams, right, including systems, all the systems that you can implement in your business to save time, how to think through delegating tasks, how to hire great team members, how to know which role you need to hire all of these things. They're all a part of leverage. So that's why I want to start with first defining what leverage is, because then you'll be able to more clearly see how this works and then therefore be more effective at implementing this so you get better results, because that's why we are here for. So let's start by defining leverage. And leverage basically is, and this is not an official definition, but in this context, leverage simply means how can you get more for the same thing, for the same amount of work. So let's say if you're spending 4 hours a day on YouTube, right? And you are getting X amount of output, so you are getting 10 clients a month. How can we keep that same 4 hours, but instead of 10 clients a month, you get 50 clients a month? Because if you do the same input, the same work, but you get more for what you put in, you get more for what you do, then you have more leverage. So our goal is to have as much leverage as possible. Now, there are different types of leverage in nowadays world. So the first one is content, right? Why? Because you do work one time and million people can see that. So if for example, I'm recording this video once and unlimited amount of people can see this. So this is leverage. I do instead of me going into 1,000 people telling this, I do this one time and 1,000 people benefit. So I did one thing and now I get more for what I did. If this technology didn't exist, then I would have to tell the same thing to every single person. So now for the same work, I get more because of technology, because of content, because of media. Therefore, it is one of the highest forms of leverage. The next one is code. So this is software, AI, automations, robots, machines that do the work for you, which we are going to cover today. We are going to have videos about AI in this module. The next one is collaboration. So it's people, right? So it's team, it's manpower, right? So other people, partners, team members, closers, setters, operators, coaches, people that work with you or work for you or are in your team. So now instead of just you working on the business, you hired a person that always works with you on your business, so you all grow together. So that's another form of leverage. And the last one is capital. So it's money, right? So you can reinvest into ads, you can, with money, buy attention, essentially, and you can hire better talent, right? Which comes and, again, helps you to grow even more. So all of these things are kind of interconnected. So the biggest forms, of course, one of the biggest things that you'll learn or you already learned from this program is the power of having a brand. Because if you have good brand and if you make great content, you can make money, so you have capital, you do attract amazing talent, right? And codes are nowadays accessible to almost everyone. You literally go and talk to AI and create a software or create any automations that you want and delegate and simplify repetitive tasks that aren't high impact. Everyone has access to that. Content becomes the most important thing. Of course, considering that it is good content, right? Now, this said, we did cover content already in the personal branding module. So in this module, we are mainly going to cover team, we are going to cover culture, we are going to cover AI. So we are going to cover how you can actually look at removing, simplifying, and optimizing your business So it's as simple and as effective as possible. So there's as little waste as possible. So for the same amount of work that you do, you get better results in less time. That's going to be the focus of this module. And maybe we will have some modules that will touch on content, or in our personal branding module, we'll be adding lessons on how to use AI in your content, etc. But today's module is going to be mainly covering that. But simply said, that's what leverage is, and that's why we're gonna do this, because you want to continuously make sure that whatever you do, you get more for what you do than last week, last month. That's how you know that not only you are working hard, but you're also getting more leverage, right? Because if you want to grow your business 10 times, if you're making 30K a month and you want to make 300K a month, you most likely can't work 10 times harder. So it will come down to having 10 times more leverage, right? One of the most things that we're gonna focus on is how can you find and focus on the things that matter the most and spend as much time as possible on your zone of genius. We're gonna cover on what the founder should be focused on in this module. In the next videos, we're gonna cover all of that. But essentially, that's the thesis of this, which is how can we get rid of everything that is taking away energy and time that we don't have to do. It can be eliminated, it can be deleted, it can be simplified. Other people can do this for us. Tools can do that for us. We can hire people to do that for us. And if we do this, then we get efficiency back and we reallocate that into the thing that matters the most, and we reach compounding. That's what we are trying to do. So that's the point of this module. And for a very long time, I didn't understand this. And I had pride of the fact that I'm willing to work hard. So I said, like, you know what, all these people that want to build systems and automate things, they are just not willing to work hard. And there is some truth to it, because like some people hide behind, oh, I don't have the system, right? Where you will never just have all the systems so you can do nothing and automatically your business grows. You can do that at the later stage where you have so much momentum, such a good brand, like more talented team members than you, which is going to take you time to get to that level. And then, yes, like the team can help you to run the business even better than you, but it usually doesn't happen at this scale of the business. It's when you are making multi-eight figures, so you can actually afford to hire world-class talent that is even better than you, and that's when your business can scale even faster. So you will never like completely automate it. So of course, a lot of people are lazy, and that is a factor. But besides that, it doesn't stop you from building leverage. Like it shouldn't be a thing that you take a pride in and say, like, there's two spectrums basically. On the one spectrum, people think, I'm gonna automate everything. What is the right system? They use that as an excuse to not show up, to not do the work, because they are hoping that some system or something is gonna come and save them, which is not true. And on the other side, there are people that always just grind 24/7 and never think, what's noise and what's signal? What do I need to double down on and what I need to cut? Where is the 20 and 80 of what I'm getting results? Can I actually remove things, simplify, work less, and get better results? And if you don't think like that, then the only inevitable option is burnout. And even if you don't burn out, then you are just being less efficient, which is not smart. So the smart thing is to keep working hard, whatever hard means to you, and build leverage so you get even more. So working hard means you do more, and leverage means you get more for every single time that you do. And if you do more and continuously do more and continuously get more for what you do, you are going to be able to scale. I'll give a couple of last examples about this, and then we'll dive into the team culture, leverage, AI, systems, all of this, so we can implement this practically. But the big lesson that you need to take away from this is that your job isn't to just work hard, but it's to work hard on not having to work hard. I hope this makes sense. So again, most people, they either just work hard, which means they never build systems. This was me for a very long time. And I was proud in the fact that I'm always doing the things in the unscalable way. And again, that's what got me here. So that's great, right? Most people weren't willing to do that. But then to get to the next level, you need to be smart and have leverage as much as possible, right? And on the other hand, there are people that just hope that, again, systems are going to just like make them do no work and they're going to keep growing, which is not true. And the right choice, and took me a long time to realize this, but the right thing to do is to work hard, but again, to work hard on building leverage, so then you can choose to work hard, not have to work hard, because these are different. I'll give an example. Let's say that you are at the point where you are doing all of the sales in your company yourself, and you are getting a lot of leads all the time, and you are close to burnout. Now you can take pride in that, and you can say, I'm so tough, I'm going to keep doing the calls. Or you can say, What if I actually work on hiring a very, very good closer, or let's say if you have very good closers already and you need a closer manager, and then you are managing your closers and that's burning you out because you have many closers and etc. and you want to hire a closer manager and you think, oh, they don't exist, no one can do this as good as me, whatever. You can either do that or you can do the other thing, which is you can go and find the good closer manager. We'll discuss that today, right? In the next modules of team and all of this. But you can, hypothetically, you can do that and it will still take hard work and might be even harder because that's an uncertainty, right? You are used to just showing up and doing what you need to do, and it's a bit uncomfortable. It's beyond your comfort zone to go and to find someone. You need to break your belief and ego that no one can do it better than you, because it's simply not true. There are many companies that are billion-dollar companies that eventually they gave it to other people that are running down for them. So everything is possible. So you need to break these beliefs that only I can do this. It's actually, you need to go and find people. There is a mistake. There's a chance and risk of making a mistake. What if you hire the wrong person? And that does happen in business. So that's why most people don't do it and they get stuck for sure in the loop of never being able to scale because they, as a founder, become the bottleneck. So a lot of it is understanding that the best sustainable way to grow is to keep showing up, is to keep working hard as the founder, but work hard on not having to work hard. Because if you work hard in yourselves, you are gonna always have to do it. If you work hard on finding a good closer, which might be harder work than just selling yourself because you know how to do that, or whatever, you can replace this with any other role, right? You do it one time, and maybe you'll do it 2 times because the first time the closer doesn't work out. But once you nail it, once you have the right person in the role, then you now get leverage. Because now you did one-time work and you are getting more for what you did. So if it was taking you 10 hours or 20 hours a week to manage your closers, or you were taking 40 hours a week of sales calls, and now it took you 60 hours to hire one very good closer, but now every single week they are taking on 40 hours of a week a call, and it takes you 2 hours a week to give them feedback. Then you went from spending 40 hours a week to 2 hours a week, and you have all of the 38 hours a week back. And not only that, you have 30 hours back every single week coming forward. And now you can spend that on getting even more ahead, on focusing things that matter even more, brand, content, team, while your competition gets stuck. So you can even get more ahead than they are and build even more leverage and momentum. So this is the foundational understanding, which is that's the best mindset. Is you need to build things, you need to build leverage, so then you are able to not work hard. Now, this is gonna take time. And if this was easy, then everyone would be building leverage and then they wouldn't have to work. Again, there's a difference between lazy and building leverage, right? Building leverage is harder. That's why most people don't do this. But that's the only logical choice if you want to scale sustainably. If you don't want to, great. But if you do want to, then that's your choice. Because you can either choose the hard of staying stuck in the same level and doing repeated tasks that can be automated, delegated, simplified, etc. Or you can work hard on building leverage, and it will be hard, but once you do crack it, you will have leverage that can help you to scale to the next level, because now you will get more for what you do. So this is, again, a foundational understanding that you need to have, and this took me a long time, but if you start thinking like this, then it becomes interesting, because if you think that's great, it doesn't mean I'm gonna be lazy, and it doesn't mean it's gonna be like completely changed, like save me. Building systems is gonna make me do nothing, and I'm gonna be on the beach and make $1 million easily. No, right? But it's about how do I balance, okay, me showing up, me pushing, but when necessary also making sure that if I do take a week off, if I do take 2 weeks off, everything doesn't crumble. There's SOPs, there's systems, there's automations, there are clear tasks, there's a good team, there's leverage, there's AI, there's systems, there's efficiency, so you can be more sustainable business. And that's one of the best things that you can do as a founder, because you will get sick, you will sometimes be demotivated, and you want to make sure that your business doesn't suffer because of it. And ideally, keeps growing more and more and more. So again, it's gonna come down to you building the right team, you actually prioritizing your decisions better, you being focused on the right thing as a founder, you having the self-awareness as a founder of where your zone of genius is and what do you want to do. So you can take over this task and then everything else is done by your team, or again, you eliminate things, or it's done by automations, etc. So there's a lot that goes into this, but the good news is that I've built this module specifically for that, and we're going to cover the team, we're going to cover automation systems and all of this, but it all starts with first understanding this concept, which is to build leverage, you need to work on systems, you need to work on hiring exceptional A-player team, and if you do, then you will be able to focus on the things that you are the best at as a founder, and then you can work less and make more as a result of it. So this is what we are trying to build here. Now, before we go to the next modules, where we will start talking about the team, because that's the most important, and then we'll go and talk about systems, AI, and all of that, I want to say that one of the best forms of leverage is skills. So you need to look at it, you need to look at everything as learning skills, right? This was super helpful for me when I started having this worldview, which is the best way to get more for what you do is to become better. Simply said, if you do 10 sales calls and you close 1 out of 10, and let's say your program is $5,000, so you made $5,000. If you say another person number B, and they close 5 people out of 10, they make 5 times $5,000 is $25,000. So this person from 10 people closed 1 deal and made 5K. This person from 10 people closed 5 people and they made 25K. So there's a 20K difference, right? Now let's think about it. Did this person work harder? Not necessarily. They both did 10 calls, 10 sales calls. And assuming these were the same leads, etc., the reason that this person got more for the same amount of work, aka leverage, is because they are better. AKA, they have more skills, they are more skilled, they are more experienced, right? And because of that, let's say they're better at sales, so they can make so much more. So skills is the ultimate thing that you can have as an edge, because basically if you learn the skills, which is why you are watching this video and that's why you are ahead of all of your competition, because most people never learn and you are here, so that already shows that you are on the right track, and I genuinely mean this. And if you understand how important this is and you keep learning skills, everything else becomes easier, because hiring a great team is a skill. Working on content, which is leverage, is a skill. So if you start thinking about this way, you'll be able to more clearly see why getting better, why learning, why having mentors, why getting feedback, you reviewing your own things in business and trying to see how can you improve, why this matters so much, is because skill is the leverage that no one can take away from you. If you have a great team member and they could, because you got lucky to hire them, if they disappear, right, if something bad happens to them, God forbid, you are screwed, right? But the one thing that no one can take away from you is skills. If you learn how to hire A-player closers or A-player editors for your content, or A-player partners, or A-player marketers, or whatever you want to hire, if you learn to do that, if one person, it doesn't work out or they quit or whatever, you can hire another one, right? If you build a system and it crashes, if you know how to build systems, you can do that. If you learn how to prioritize what you need to be focused on as a founder and continuously simplifying and making your business more efficient, you can always do that with that skill that you have. If one system stops working, you have the skill though. Now you can build another one because you understand how it works. So be focused on the skills, and that's why I designed this module, is that once you go through all of the next modules, you are going to learn, and you learning, you getting better is the most important, because once you do that, no one can take that away from you, and that's the ultimate form of leverage that you can apply to content, to code, to collaborations, and to code, collaborations, content, and capital, right? You can do that to all of these four things. And that's how you can scale and get even more ahead of your competition. So again, this is super, super important module. And this took me a long time to realize. And you'll learn a lot about what the right way to build leverage and teams and systems and automations is in this module. And a lot of new updates and upcoming videos are going to be updated in this program, because this is right now my main focus. So I'm going to learn even more. We're already making significant investments into this. So I'm going to share even more in this module. So that's going to be exciting. And I'm going to now share with you everything that I've learned after investing hundreds of thousands of dollars, making a lot of mistakes into this. So this video is going to help you a lot. And I have a lot of experience with this, because I had a previous company as well before Achieve Greatness, where I actually built a system where we had a marketing partner, we had 2 closers, we had a closer manager, which was a mistake. At 2 closers, we shouldn't have had one. But we had a setter, 3 setters, a setter manager, and the whole business was running almost without me. I was working about 2-3 hours a day, sometimes 4, and most of the time no weekends, and we were making over, at that time, $500K a year. And now with Achieve Greatness, obviously we make more, but it was completely delegated, and I was not trying even to grow that business as much, right? So I have a lot of experience with building this and how to, design your organization in a way that it's more sustainable. And again, it's more scalable, and you have higher leverage, because the higher leverage you have, the more results you will get, and it will be easier to get these results. You'll get more with less, and that's what we're gonna cover in this module. Now, this said, we covered all of the foundations. What I just said might be simple to you, but it's one thing to understand this, and one thing is to embody this. So yeah, I understood this for a very long time, but I was not doing this. So if this resonated, I would highly recommend you to rewatch this module couple of more times, like at least one more time, to really get this into your system, and then go and watch the next videos when ready, where we will dive deep into the team, systems, leverage AI, and everything. But once you understand this, that's when you go from being just a person that is that has a high paid job. So like, you know, because most business owners aren't business owners, they just have a very high paying job, right? You will transition from this to a person that is a true founder, that is focused on their zone of genius, who is able to get more for the same amount of input. And then if you want to really scale, then you do way more inputs and get more for what you do. And that's how you're gonna beat everyone. And it all starts with, of course, assuming you are working hard, you are doing this with the right intentions, you realize it's gonna take time to build team and systems. But considering that you do realize all of these things, the most important part is understanding leverage, understanding how to apply it. And once you do, then you will crush everyone. So this said, hope this video was useful, and I will see you in the next modules, where we'll cover team, automations, AI systems, how you can actually build an organization that scales, so you can again be working on your business and not in it, and you can start building towards that direction, because it is a journey, it does take time, but it's one of the most fulfilling things and fun things that you can do as a founder. So this said, I will see you in the next modules, and let's build leverage so you can scale for the same amount of input. I think that's something super, super exciting. So I will see you in the next one. Now, a lot of these trainings are available for free with all of the templates, AI tools, private feedback for you to be able to implement in your business. And guess what? It's absolutely free. So if you're interested, the link will be down below in the description, and you can apply to join there.